Miami Vice was never just a television show. It was a pulse, a neon-lit fever dream that defined the 1980s. Speedboats slicing through black water, pastel shoots glowing under streetlights, synth music humming beneath gunfire. On screen, it looked stylish, fearless, untouchable. But behind the sunglasses and swagger lived a truth far darker than anything the cameras ever showed. 40 years later, the legacy of Miami Vice still burns, but many of the lives behind it were changed forever. Fame arrived fast. Success felt unstoppable, and then the cracks began to show. Careers collapsed. Scandals exploded. Some stars vanished quietly. Others battled addiction, illness, or financial ruin. And for several, the story didn't end with retirement. It ended with death. This is Miami Vice, 1984, cast. Then and Now 2025, How They Changed. A story of fame, fallout, survival, and loss. Don Johnson, the man who became Sonny Crockett, was born in Missouri in 1949, long before fame found him. His childhood was shaped by instability and violence. Physical abuse at home left scars that never fully healed. When Miami Vice exploded onto television in 1984, Johnson was 34 years old and suddenly one of the most famous men in America. On screen, Crockett was cool, controlled, and deadly. Off-screen, Johnson was unraveling. Hollywood excess swallowed him whole. Cocaine, marijuana, quaaludes, and endless nights became routine. His name dominated tabloids for marriages, breakups, and high-profile relationships that collapsed as fast as they formed. As fame grew, so did chaos. Then came the lawsuits. Accusations of sexual harassment in the late 1990s and early 2000s damaged his image. At the same time, reckless spending and failed business ventures nearly destroyed him financially. For a moment, it seemed inevitable that Johnson would become another cautionary tale of fame gone wrong. But instead of disappearing, he rebuilt, quietly taking smaller roles, refining his craft, and eventually shocking audiences with powerful performances in Django, Unchained, and Knives Out. Now in 2025, Johnson lives privately, choosing his roles carefully. The storm behind him, but never forgotten. Standing beside him throughout Miami Vice was Philip Michael Thomas, the man behind the smooth and stylish Ricardo Tubbs. Born in Ohio in 1949, Thomas stepped into the series convinced it was only the opening chapter of a much larger destiny. His confidence was legendary. At the height of his fame, he boldly declared he would achieve an EGOT, predicting future wins at the Emmys, Grammys, Oscars, and TONYS, a statement that later followed him as a painful Hollywood joke. When Miami Vice ended in 1989, the spotlight vanished almost overnight. Acting offers dried up. Attempts to launch a music career failed. Financial pressure began to close in, and desperation replaced optimism. As his career unraveled, his personal life grew increasingly chaotic. Multiple relationships, 11 children, and relentless child support disputes drained both his finances and stability. By 2025, Thomas lives quietly in Florida, far removed from the fame he once believed was inevitable. Sandra Santiago, born in New York, was just 27 years old when she stepped into Miami Vice as Gina Calabrese, one of television's most fearless and intelligent female detectives. She brought toughness, elegance, and emotional depth to a genre that rarely allowed women real authority, quickly becoming a symbol of strength in 1980s crime television. On screen, she looked unstoppable, but when Miami Vice ended, reality hit hard. Hollywood locked Santiago into a narrow image she couldn't escape. Casting directors wanted the same tough cop role repeatedly, offering no room for growth or reinvention. Auditions slowed, major opportunities vanished, and the silence that followed took a heavy emotional toll. Depression quietly set in as the spotlight faded. Her personal life suffered alongside her career. Her marriage to actor Roger Guerrero collapsed under financial strain and emotional exhaustion. The most devastating moment came when Santiago temporarily lost custody of their adopted child, a loss she later described as the lowest point of her life. Rather than surrender, Santiago rebuilt herself from the ground up. She returned to acting classes, embraced theater, and rediscovered her creative purpose. Today, she works steadily, choosing artistic fulfillment and stability over fleeting fame. Sandra Santiago, born in New York, was just 27 when she burst onto Television screens as Gina Calabrese on Mi Vice. Fierce, intelligent, and unapologetically strong, she redefined what a female detective could be in 1980s crime television. She carried toughness with grace, bringing emotional depth to a genre that rarely gave women real authority. On screen, she looked unstoppable, but when Miami Vice ended, the spotlight disappeared just as quickly. Hollywood confined Santiago to a narrow image she couldn't escape. Her personal life unraveled alongside her career. Her marriage to actor Roger Guerrero collapsed under financial strain and emotional fatigue. The lowest point came when Santiago temporarily lost custody of their adopted child, a heartbreak she later described as devastating. Instead of surrendering, she rebuilt. Returning to acting classes and embracing theater, Sandra Santiago reclaimed her purpose. Today, she works steadily, choosing creative fulfillment and emotional stability over fleeting fame. Edward James Olmos brought a chilling, restraining power to Lieutenant Castillo, a character built on silence, control, and unspoken intensity. Born in Los Angeles, Olmos was already a highly respected actor when he joined Miami Vice, praised for his discipline, depth, and commanding presence. Unlike the flashy style surrounding him, Castillo felt grounded, serious, and haunted, a reflection of Olmos' own gravitas. But the 1990s nearly erased everything he had worked for. In 1992, accusations involving a minor exploded across headlines, igniting a relentless media firestorm. Forced to rebuild outside the mainstream, Olmos turned to independent films and deeply personal projects. One of his most powerful performances came in Selena, where he delivered emotional weight and dignity that critics couldn't ignore. Now battling cancer, Olmos focuses his remaining strength on Latino advocacy and humanitarian work. His legacy forever shaped by both brilliance and controversy. Michael Talbot, the heart behind Stan Swidek, became a victim of Hollywood's obsession with image. As his weight increased and industry standards shifted, casting directors stopped calling. Roles vanished. His career momentum evaporated. In later years, Talbot reinvented himself as a political figure, openly supporting the NRA and conservative causes. His outspoken views alienated fans and pushed Hollywood even further away. By 2025, he lives privately, remembered more for his past than his present. Gregory Sierra, who portrayed Lou Rodriguez, spent his entire career battling the narrow limits Hollywood placed on Latino actors. Even after gaining recognition on Barney Miller, he was repeatedly boxed into the same types of roles: police officers, gang members, or stereotypes that left little room for growth. Behind-the-scenes conflicts and creative frustration followed, him forcing difficult career decisions that cost him momentum. When pop superstar Sheena Easton appeared on Mi Vice as Caitlin Davies, she arrived with controversy already trailing her. Her hit song Sugar Walls, written by Prince, had sparked outrage and censorship, branding her as provocative before Hollywood ever saw her act. Gregory Sierra, who portrayed Lou Rodriguez, spent his entire career fighting against the narrow limits Hollywood placed on Latino actors. Even after earning recognition on Barney Miller, he was repeatedly boxed into the same roles: police officers, gang members, or one-dimensional stereotypes that offered little room for growth. Behind the scenes, creative frustration and conflicts followed him, forcing difficult choices that slowly drained his momentum. When pop superstar Sheena Easton appeared on Mi Vice as Caitlin Davies, she arrived with controversy already attached. Her hit song Sugar Walls, written by Prince, had ignited public outrage and censorship, branding her as provocative before Hollywood fully embraced her as an actress. Fame soared, but scrutiny followed relentlessly. Multiple marriages collapsed. Under pressure, and health issues damaged her voice, a devastating blow to her career. Choosing peace over chaos, Easton stepped away to focus on motherhood and stability. Today, she lives a semi-retired life in Las Vegas, performing occasionally, far from the spotlight that once defined her. Others, like Belinda Montgomery and John Deal, walked away quietly, choosing peace, art, and integrity over an industry that demanded endless reinvention. Miami Vice changed television forever, but behind the neon glow were broken dreams, silent battles, and lives permanently reshaped by fame. The rise was dazzling, the fall was brutal. And the truth proves one thing: the brightest lights always cast the darkest shadows. Which story stayed with you the longest? Share your thoughts below, hit like, and subscribe for more untold Hollywood stories you won't hear anywhere else. Thanks for watching.